YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Nigel coming back at y'all with yet another video. And yes, you saw the title. Today we're going to be talking about job hopping. Let's go. Now, job hopping is a way of working amongst new professionals. Usually they're highly sought after and they're really good in their field. Being labeled a job hopper usually means that they're leaving their jobs quite frequently in under 18 months, and human resources will label these people as job hoppers. Now, people usually do this to move up the corporate ladder or get a higher salary, but we're going to figure out if this actually works and is job hopping worth it. Based on the latest numbers in February 2018, job hopping can almost double your salary if you switch. But this is not the only thing that we need to look at. Having reduced benefits could actually negate a lot of your salary increases. So we're going to take a better look at this. The first one is retirement contributions. Now, if your company matches 401k on a vesting schedule, chances are you'll lose some or all of these contributions. Now, it has been reported that 71% of companies are on a vesting schedule of at least 3 years. And job hoppers, obviously, as I said in the previous, that they only stay for 18 months. So this is something to consider because this could really hurt your retirement goals. The next one we have is health insurance. Now, even if the health insurance premium ends up staying the same from job to job, if you switch, you will lose your deductible and your out-of-pocket spending will go to zero. The third one we have is moving costs. If you move to a different city or state due to your job, you will have to foot the bill for it unless your company does, but chances are you might have to pay extra for gas, you might have to relocate to a different house, different state. You never know the unexpected things when moving to a different state. You don't know the location, don't know the people. Overall, it just might be an inconvenience to you. And the fourth one is perception. The perception of you when you keep on switching jobs on your resume is really bad, and a lot of employers will overlook you because you seem as an unreliable employee that they can't hold on to for a very long time. But with things to consider, there's pros and cons to everything. So I'm about to get into the dangers of actually staying. The first one is, which is really important to a lot of people, is stagnant growth. Chances are if you stay with the same company, a lot of people get labeled as this type of employee to where they can only do this and their job isn't willing to let them do something new. You might want to be a manager, you might want to be a senior project manager. Whatever it is in your field that you want to level up to, it might be a little bit harder if you stay. If you switch jobs, chances are you'll be able to get access to higher salaries and even different positions depending on your field. The second thing is missing out on technological advancements. Now, chances are if you're with the same company, they have the same way of doing things, they use the same software for years and years to come. If you stay with this company, you won't know anything but this. And when it comes time to switch or do something different in your job field, you'll have a very hard time doing it because you already are fixated on this way of doing things. If you switch jobs, you're going to get a lot more experience. This new company might use a different software. They might have a different process of the way they file things. You never know. Overall, you're gaining more experience and gaining new knowledge when you switch to a different company. Now, this graph that I'm about to pull up is the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta wage growth tracker. Now, in this graph, we have the comparison between the job stayer and the job switcher, aka the job hopper. Now, this graph itself shows the median wage growth of employees over a time span of 1998 to 2022. The first thing I want to note about this is the gray markings in this graph. That shows the economic downturns. We've had one in 2001, 2008, and that very small one in 2020. Now, other than the one in 2020, the economic downturns marked some pretty bad times for the job hoppers to where their wage growth actually was less than the people who stayed with their job. Chances are it's because employment was very hard to find. It might have been harder for them to find a job, which led to them not getting any wage growth. So the first thing I would say is, if you're going to switch jobs, you have to figure out what the economy is doing. If it's very hard to find a job, chances are it might not be very good for you to start job hopping at that moment. The next very glaring thing to me about this graph is the difference between the job switcher and the job stayer in 2022. Now the difference is about 4% right now. The main reason I think this is happening is because employers are getting pretty desperate at this point, because a lot of people, they don't want to go back to work. They're having trouble finding more employees, which leads to it being high demand, a little bit more desperate. They might chunk out a little bit more money than they did previously. But overall, throughout the years, it seems like you can only get about a 1.5% difference on average between being a job switcher and a job stayer. You'll have to find out yourself if that's worth it or not. I'd say personally, just make sure that you're understanding what type of economic condition you're in. As you can see, if you're in an economic condition where jobs are a little bit more desperate when looking for you, you're going to be in a far better situation than somebody who is just switching when it's an economic downturn. Also, another thing I want to note is, depending on your situation, might make you want to switch jobs. If you know that your job's not moving you up, you know that you've been there for 10 years and you're working in the same position and have the same exact salary, even though you might be in an economic downturn, if you look on Glassdoor or any of those sites where you can see the average wage and you see that you're at the bottom of the level, or you're not even on the level, and you know that they're underpaying you, it's definitely a time for you to switch. But you just have to make that decision on your own to figure out if it's worth it or not. In conclusion though, job switching can be beneficial at some times depending on your situation. If your company is giving out stagnant wages and not giving you any more career opportunities, it is definitely beneficial for you to job hop. But I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Make sure if you like the video, hit the like button. If you learned something, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm coming out with more content every single week, so stay tuned for that. Fitness, finance, self-care, everything to help you level up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a video. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.